G'day, welcome to my art classes. I'm John Mason, artist and illustrator. I'm glad you joined me for episode 2. In this episode, we are going to explore the basic techniques of drawing. At this stage, it's vital that you practice a lot. The only way to learn how to draw is to actually do it. And it takes time and it takes practice. Now, when most people start drawing, they want to draw people's faces. And that can be most discouraging for you because the human brain is specifically attuned to recognize human faces. We're able to see very subtle variations in faces. Whereas if you draw a dog or a goat's face, so long as it's passable, everybody's happy. These two ladies are easy to tell apart, but if you look objectively, there really isn't much difference in the structure of their faces. See, when I overlay the faces, they're structurally very similar, yet it's easier for us to see the difference. Make tiny errors drawing a human face and it looks awful and can be very discouraging for you. But then you were trying to do brain surgery before you'd learnt Medicine 101. So instead, I'm going to start with some simple household objects. Why the focus on still life? To train your eye on something that doesn't move. Avoid copying photographs, they won't help you to train your eye. You gain more understanding of an object when you can see it from multiple angles, and that will reflect in your artwork. To make your drawing accurate, you need to learn how to observe and how to measure. Here's a teddy bear. No straight edges to make life simple. We're looking for shapes. Spend some time observing before drawing. Consider the overall shape of the teddy, then break it down into simple geometric shapes for its head, its arms and body. See the bear as a series of ovals. Start with big general shapes. Keep them loose and light and check the alignments and proportions. The simplest method is to use your pencil. With your arm fully outstretched, move your thumb up and down to match the bear's head. Move your arm down, still fully outstretched, and compare his head to his body. Keeping your arm fully extended makes the comparison valid. Let me show you. Right, so you stretch it out and it's got to be all the way out, and then you move your thumb up and down and you can check verticals. But it's important that it's all the way out. Check those proportions on your drawing. Holding your pencil outstretched vertically, observe the angles of the bear. Check those angles on your drawing. Check the width of his body and compare that to the height of his head. Check alignments. And then transfer that to your drawing. First, I'm going to mark out the general shapes of the head and body according to the proportions that I've just measured. Checking things as I draw. Normally, I'd do this with a 2H pencil, but I'm using a darker F pencil in the hopes you'll be able to see better. You need to ignore your verbal understanding of the teddy bear. Don't think of feet and legs or arms, just observe the shapes. In Leonardo da Vinci's time, drawing to a grid was common. It's a very effective method, but tedious. Now, the reason it's effective is that it forces you to observe the shape within each square. rather than the whole object. Now I'm just revising for each lines, checking I get back at the teddy bear, seeing that I've got the alignments right, and just constantly refining. Now we can start to add a little bit more shape to things, getting away from the really basic shapes and looking for where things begin and where they end. Bring down that scarf. Now I seem to be jumping around, but it's because I'm looking to where things align across the thing, not finishing an arm or a leg, but going to points of reference. Now once I'm happy with where the lines are, I'll start to reinforce them. Once you've got them all marked in, the lines you're happy with, you could, if you wanted, gently rub out the unwanted lines. Keep checking though. Make sure things line up properly. And then once we start to get to this point of adding some definite lines, you start to see the teddy bear emerges from it. And then we can start thinking about shading him in. I start the shading by marking out the darkest areas first, using the flat side of my 4B pencil. I'm shading the left side first, and I'm not shading uniformly, as I want to create a sense of fur. I will do a separate future episode on different shading techniques. Turn my pencil to its sharp edge to create the darker shades, and then back to the flat side, and then more dark bits and raggedy bits, and then shading over the top to create the sense of fur. And then I just add with the soft edge of the pencil to the outlines, so that the outlines become edges rather than outlines. And then it's just keep reinforcing the darker areas, getting things darker and darker until they get to the tone that is required. And jumping around all over the place, growing it as a whole thing rather than concentrating on one little piece. So my pencil's constantly rotating to get different effects, darker bits, lighter bits, gentle bits, shade over the top of previous shading to add to that. This is particularly necessary to get fur. Before you watch the next episode, practice observing. Use that relaxed grip on the pencil and sketch as many things as you can. Work on getting the relationship of various points on an object correct. Measure the proportions with your pencil. Compare angles against the vertical. Check alignments. Practice drawing varying lines of different thickness and darkness. Get the basic structure of an object correct before adding any detail. There's nothing worse than spending hours drawing, refining it, only to realise that the proportions were wrong and have been since the beginning. It doesn't matter what you draw, so long as it resembles what you see. I hope you'll join me on the next episode to learn more about sketching and drawing basics. Artists, we know where to draw the line.